Howdy, 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 folks. It is good to be back. I know it has been a long time since I've been able to put out any new content. I do apologize. I could give you a whole bunch of excuses, but nobody really cares, and I understand. So, moving on from all that, today we are going to review the ARGO RAFT. Now, as you can probably tell from my super basic armor set, I've not been able to play much since 3.20 dropped. I haven't really been able to play much in a couple months. So I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of differences that have come out for 3.20. I need to dive in, and hopefully I'll be able to get some extra seat time this week, but we'll see. I've got some interesting things plotted out. I've been spending my downtime at work, working on scripts so that maybe I can get some cool stuff out. I'm hoping to do some more combat ships and maybe get some actual combat footage, some interesting stuff, you know, pizzazz, explosions, lasers, all that cool stuff. Anyways, back to the ARGO RAFT. This is the single most focused cargo ship that I've seen in all of Star Citizen. A small note, and I'm not sure why, but I've completely forgot this ship existed when I made my guide for the best second ships to buy. It fits all the criteria, and honestly, I'm a bit disappointed in myself for not putting it in the video, but it's too late now. So let's get on to the action. I can't lie, this is a horrendously ugly ship. It is almost ugly cute, in my opinion. It's got these awesome VTOL engines. You can kind of see them on the side here, right there behind my head, right there. There's one on each corner, which is kind of neat. You know, it actually does have some pretty decent atmospheric flight for what it is. And it's got two large main engines at the rear. Now, these shipping containers that you see here are exactly what they look like, cargo pods. I haven't had a chance to run cargo. This is only my second time in 3.20 since it dropped, but I'm actually gonna hopefully get some of that later this week. I kind of want to see. I've seen some interesting stuff about cargo changes, so that looks interesting. The elevator is right here amidship, and it can access both of the decks on the interior. Now, here on the lower deck is where you will spend most of your time in the raft. Coming off the elevator, we have three doors. 1, 2, 3. The door to the left is the habitation area. Here you'll find a galley, you know, a small recreation area, and the ARGO patented bed/escape pods. Small segue for a second. Could you imagine being in a dead sleep, rolling over, bumping the escape pod button, and waking up in the middle of empty space? I don't know that you could pay me enough to sleep in one of these cargo/escape pods. Just the rationale there just does not seem to fit for me. But then again, it's not real, so don't worry about it. All right, there's a small door in this habitation area, and it leads to the emergency ladder to get up to the engineering deck. It also has some storage areas. I haven't played with these yet, so I'm not sure if you can actually hang stuff. I don't think so. That'd be a really big... I feel like somebody would have said something about it by now. But there's some weapons racks, and it's also where the restroom/shower, you know, you're all in one for all your business in one place. We come back out here. So back in the entryway, the door across from the elevator is just an airlock. It is a docking airlock, and it's not really something you're going to have to deal with a lot. And then last up for the lower deck is the bridge. Now we've got two seats here. As usual, the left seat is the pilot seat, right seat, co-pilot seat. The pilot seat is I mean, the glass isn't bad. I can't argue that. The view is very nice. MFDs for a non-combat ship, we've got 3, and then you could argue a 4th, although I don't think you can change it. You're just kind of stuck with it. But this reddish orange color scheme is, I mean, it looks cool, but when you're trying to do anything, it's a nightmare because it's so orange that your pips are just slightly different shades of orange. So if you're trying to line up a jump or tell friend from foe, it's not very helpful. Honestly, it's probably my single biggest complaint about this ship overall. Another note, you might have noticed, there's no stock pilot weapons. You can mount 2 size 1 weapons, and you can even gimbal them, so you can have 2 size 1 gimbaled weapons. Side note, I would recommend laser cannons. I know that that's very not what I would normally say, but the balance of laser cannons right now for only being able to have 2 size 1 guns really seems to me to be the best overall option, because you can't mount a whole bunch of stuff. You can't mount, 2 laser repeaters and then 2 ballistics. You don't have any missiles, so you want something with a little bit of punch, a little bit of range. I really think 2 size 1 laser cannons is the best way to go. Now the co-pilot seat has a remote turret which mounts 2 size 3 M5A laser cannons, which really aren't that bad a weapon. I actually kind of like them. Much like I was talking about with if you decide to get laser cannons for your pilot weapons, since you only have 2 of them, having a really balanced weapon set is a really good idea, in my opinion. And the M5s are pretty nice weapons. I don't really like the Omni Skies myself. We've got a good field of view here as well. So if you've got a half-decent pilot and a half-decent co-pilot / gunner, you're going to be able to protect your cargo moderately well. All right, let's go look at the engineering deck. I do want to point out they seem to have done at least a minor update on buttons and things for this, because there weren't those little push buttons for the elevators and stuff when I was prepping this back in July, I want to say, maybe August. All right, so the main area here in engineering houses your components, and you can't access them at the moment, but you do have a display. I think this would be a half-decent ship for non-combat multi-crew gameplay. And we come down this hallway here, all the way to the back. Small door here for the emergency ladder. And then this area here is for the support station. It's really the tractor beam. It's just, I don't think that we've actually been given access to the tractor beam yet. The standard Star Citizen answer for when is not yet. Soon. Although I am seeing a lot of really positive progress. So please don't hound me. I think it's overall, the game is coming along very well. Alright, so, I mean, there isn't much to the ship when compared to some of my other reviews. But to me, that's kind of the beauty of the ship. I mean, for the low price, and it truly is a low price, of 1,853,000 Alpha UEC at New Deal in Lorville, you can pick this up in-game pretty quickly. If you want to pledge, it is time limited, but not quantity limited. And last time that I saw it, it was for sale for 125 bucks. And for a pure cargo vessel, that's really not bad when you're looking at 96 SCU of cargo space. I mean, the ship has some great things going for it. Once again, it's got that 96 SCU cargo capacity, which is by far the cheapest ship in game that can truly move cargo at a rate that makes good money. I mean, it's got a total hull HP of 41,751 and 18,000 shield HP. That's stock, by the way. That's split in a front-back type. The RAFT is surprisingly tanky. The SCM speed is only 135 meters a second, which isn't super impressive, but it actually does accelerate really well, which, I mean, it's not a racing ship, obviously, but having a ship like this that accelerates smoothly, I think is really important. It's, to me, one of the big downsides to a freelancer is the freelancer just feels sluggish all the time. The max speed on this is absurdly low. In fact, I'm sure there's a ship with a lower top speed. I can't remember one. And I mean, that the max speed on this is only 840 meters a second. But keep in mind, how often do you truly fly around at your actual max speed? You know, it's just not, once you're experienced and you, especially if you're running cargo, you're not going to be flying down to a site at 840 meters a second, because you're just going to be a smush whenever you land. Just a reminder, there are no stock pilot controlled weapons, so I'm not going to give you a stock DPS number because there isn't one. I do want to take 1 second to mention one more thing about stock stats / components, and that is the stock quantum drive is great for range, but it is very slow and has a very long cooldown period. It reminds me a lot of when I first got my reclaimer and took it out, and I was like, oh, this is neat. Oh my god, it takes 10 years to get somewhere. So that is the one thing that I would absolutely recommend that you upgrade. I mean, if you're just running cargo, what's the point in buying all these other crazy components? But having that better quantum drive really does help, especially with the advances in piracy and the ability of people to steal your cargo. I think having a quicker spooling quantum drive is very important. All right, I would say for the price of the ship, the only real competitor to me is the Freelancer and its variants. Now, yes, the Freelancer Max does have 24 additional SCU of cargo, which really isn't that much, but it costs an additional 600,000 Alpha UEC in game. That is a lot. You know, that's a whole extra third of what you're paying for this. You know, if you're thinking about buying a Constellation just for cargo runs, I would definitely take a peek at the RAFT first. You know, it has the same cargo capacity and is more focused for cargo than all the Constellations except for the Taurus, and it costs half as much. Overall, I won't lie, I did not think that I would like this ship, but the more that I've used it and the more that I look at its applications versus its price point, the RAFT has really grown on me quite a bit. Now, this has been Heimdall's review of the ARGO RAFT. I want to take a second again to thank all of you for watching my videos. This is a small channel. It's managed by me with a little bit of help from my wife, and you know, we work really hard to put out the highest quality product within our means and our knowledge. It has been and it's going to hopefully continue to be awesome. You know, to see the growth of the channel, the comments, the likes, it all means a lot, and we appreciate the time you all spend engaging with us. You know, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, tap subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications of new content. As always, have fun out there, and we look forward to seeing you all out there in the verse.